on a more serious note.
Mm-hmm.
Spanking in the bedroom, yes or no?
Yes, I do miss you. I miss you because I wish you were around to teach me how to sound as proud of myself as you are of me when I achieve something. I wish you could show me in the mirror what you see when you look at me. Just you. Just me. Use my favorite colors of the rainbow to map out your favorite parts of me so I can know what I should favor them too. Highlight pieces of me that make you weak in the knees so I know what it's like to buckle under my own love. Trace the scars that cover so much of my skin so I can remember how I survived. Remind me of how you know I'm so fearless that even when love turns its back on me, I don't turn my back on love. Teach me how to smile like you do when I tell you about my next adventure or my next project. Teach me how to melt at the climax of my own poetry. Tell me about how you found peace at my fingertips. Tell me about how you got lost in my kiss and found your way back through my tongue. Write a pamphlet for the future that comes and goes so it knows all the monuments it should stop and take a selfie with. Make sure to include a color-coordinated key relating to my moods, how to help me when I am sad or when I am empty. How whomever desires to stop and sightsee at the greatness that is me should just let me be. Loud, obnoxious, extra as fuck, put a star next to the bulleted note that states that the best way to my heart is good food and forehead kisses. Yes, I miss you, but most of all I am thankful because you show me how I deserve to be loved, how I should love myself, just in case any love of mine ever chooses to leave, to change, or give up. I will not be empty.
And then so like we did a magic and music video, and I did so much magic, and KP said the one the girl did was his favorite. I hate KP. Anyway, welcome back to Sunday Morning Sessions. I'm here, your host, Dremagix, with my very special guest, Sav. Say hi to the people at home.
Hi, people at home.
All the four of you watching. One of them is KP. Hi, KP. You're also behind the camera now. So, how you doing?
I'm good.
You're a poet.
I am a poet.
It's very weird because when I say how do you say what you do?
Performing artist,
Right, but
performance
what do you write?
artist. What do you mean?
Like,
oh, I guess when I do sign-up sheets, I write poet. Because it depends on what I'm going to do.
so you write,
Poet.
or like, poems.
Oh.
See, that's how I say it. I like poems. And it's not like I'm a fob or anything, because I am a fob, but that's one of the, when you're an immigrant and like your English is really good, but there's some like holes in your English where it's like poetry or like poems.
You mean emphasis on wherever you,
Yeah.
in the word.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
me and
even think,
poems.
when I say poems, I don't even say poems.
See,
I
you say poems. Everyone says poems though, but I say I say poems.
Poems.
I know you didn't do any of the pieces today, but a lot of your poetry is based on a certain topic.
Yes.
Would you like to tell the viewer at home the topic?
The one viewer.
The one viewer, other than KP.
Most of my poetry touches base with depression and suicide. I was diagnosed more than a few years ago now. When I really look back at it, most likely had depression a lot longer before that.
Yeah, but I feel not to downplay what you went through, but everyone goes through some sort of depression, right?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if yes and no, because you can
Just not
have
like clinical.
you can have symptoms of depression, and it could just be you're going through like a funk. I don't want to
Right.
downplay it either.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, there are different forms of depression where people are going through this period of, manic, or they or mania. This period of mania, or they're really tired and they're sleeping more, they're eating less, or they're eating too much. There's way too many, like, I guess
It's a spectrum.
yeah, and it's a very, 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 very wide spectrum.
Right.
Before it was called depression, it's actually under being bipolar,
Oh.
and
so
then the DSM-5 changed, and then it's just all kinds of new shit.
DSM. What is DSM-5?
So
The Department for.
it's a book. It's a mental health book
Oh, I see.
for those who like. I had to cover that book when I took psychology in
That's so
college.
interesting that how like they changed the things, or they add new. Because I was in health, like
Mhm.
public health, and the CDC has a action plan for every like outbreak and like emergency.
Yes.
And recently they added a zombie apocalypse in the CDC. There's like a plan if a zombie outbreak happens.
It makes me think about what the government is really doing.
I think they're just fucking around at some point. Like, yo, but what if everyone gets magic powers, like real magic powers? What are we gonna do about them?
I think they're gonna come after you first.
I feel like I'm the lowest profile of that, which makes me the most dangerous. So maybe the highest profile. So a lot of your poetry, poetry. The stuff you write is it's based on the depression, and I've known you for a while, and you're actually a survivor of attempted suicide. How do you use your art to like kind of heal from that? And is the goal self-healing, or is it spreading awareness? Like, what is the
It's simultaneous. So my poetry, my poetry is about me, and it comes from me. But I know I'm also not the only person who goes through this. I am a survivor. I swallowed a bottle of pills about 2 years ago. Went in, my lungs collapsed, and then they brought me back, and I was in a coma for a few days after that. So my experience with all that, the reason I put that into my poetry is because one day, in it's a lot sooner than later, because I feel so much better now. I don't want any of that to control me anymore.
Right.
So I can do this poetry without feeling the way I did when I first wrote it, which changes it, in the long run, because then it is about spreading awareness. It
changes the intent.
Yeah. So it is about letting people know that this is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
We can't just sweep this thing under the rug or suppress it, because that's a lot more dangerous.
It's more dangerous.
Yeah.
So, very on a more serious note, spanking in the bedroom, yes or no? Because we had a conversation earlier, and KP says no spanking in the bedroom.
KP said no spanking?
You're not allowed to talk. You're the camera right now, so I can say whatever I want to you. KP said no spanking in the bedroom.
Yes.
And I think it's because he thought he was getting spanked, which is fine. Anyway,
What kind of
answer
woman
the
does
question.
KP date? Yes.
All right. Is there a too hard?
Stop.
And how do you get into that? Like, you can't just try it out.
All I know is my parents are going to be watching this. This is going to be so
Oh
great.
no, then let's change the subject.
No, it's going to be a great conversation
Let's
with them.
change the subject.
No.
I was in Vegas, and we were playing a Jenga which like giant Jenga.
Okay.
But it had things written on them.
Okay.
And one of the things was like, spank a stranger's ass. And so I was very cool about it. I was like, hey, and I just showed her the block. I was like, down? No? All right. And I showed another girl block. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Right? And I spanked, like, it was a respectable, I don't know you, you don't know me.
So it was a tap.
No, it was not a tap.
Oh my God.
It was which is harder than a tap, right?
Yes, that's not a love tap.
And she turned around and she goes, "You smack like a bitch."
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
god!
"What do you want from me? I don't know your name."
You could have at least introduced yourself first.
I mean, I didn't ask for her name. I probably forgot it, but she's like, "Oh, you smack like a bitch," and I'm like, "Yo, do you want like full on? Cause like I don't know." And then my buddy Andrew smacked her in the ass. Sorry, I'm outing you. I didn't say your last name, Civarella. Anyway, he smacked her on the ass, but it's fine because like he's like gay. So he didn't like get kinks out of it. I didn't get kinks. It was just like we had to complete the challenge.
Okay.
I'm competitive.
Okay.
Right? And he smacked her harder than I smacked her. And she turned around, she's like, "Your friend smacks like a bitch too." And I'm like, "You can't please this woman right here." Like, I don't
Is
know
that
what
why you're asking me? Like, how do you get into that and what? Is
No,
like...
it was just like a weird situation for me because it's like, I thought I found the middle ground of being a sleaze and being polite.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know this woman, and like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like getting called a bitch that night for smacking someone too soft on the booty.
I've been spanked in Vegas before. Heart Attack Grill. When you don't finish your food, they spank you. It was great. I got spanked by all the waitresses and, well, all the nurses and then the doctor. It was great.
Cool.
One of the nurses was...
I feel like don't smack me. Like, don't smack me at all anywhere. Like, not even a little bit. I don't like it. Just because... Yeah, I don't like it. I just don't.
Well,
it's preference.
It's a preference.
Yeah.
It's also a mood. Like, you asked me earlier, like, how do you get into that? I think it really just depends on what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you can't just try it and then she's like, "No, don't do," and then it kills, like, the vibe.
No, you gotta talk about it. You like, is this okay? Boundaries and consent. Come on.
I just give them a list. I'm like, check which ones apply. And they do, and then it works because it's very bottom line oriented. You know?
Sounds like 50 Shades when he gives her that contract to sign.
I've never seen it.
I really only remember that scene. I think a few other things.
50 Shades of Dre. It's all just really weird shit. Anyway, where can they see you on the internet? But like not like for poetry, not for like spanking, because like I know the conversation flow was weird. Where can they find your art? Art's another weird one. Where can they find your poetry and writing and events and things?
Right now I don't have or post too much of my poetry online. I'm working on all that stuff, but you can always find me at Recess Mike on Wednesdays at SEPA.
See what we did? Recess, we plugged you again.
And you can always
sponsor me.
Find me every first Sunday of the month at PWC at Sunday Jump.
Sunday Jump is great. I like Sunday
I'm
Jump.
also the resident photographer for both collectives. So.
And they can find your photography at
colossal.photos. That's COLOSSAL, if you don't know how to spell, .photos.
All right. Thanks for being on Sunday Morning Sessions.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll continue the conversation about
spanking behind the camera. Oh, shit.
Cut.
Artists. We don't sleep. Not really, at least. And then when we try, we oversleep. We feel everything. It's even possible for us to feel every single thing and absolutely nothing all at the same time, and then describe in detail exactly how that feels. Sometimes we talk too much and too loud, or too little and too soft. And sometimes we choose not to speak at all. We often think less of ourselves, believing in the bottom value when in fact gold can't even hold its own ground against us. Emotions are tenfold from one moment to the next, overwhelmingly growing emotions that take us on the most dangerous and invigorating roller coaster ride of our lives, and we jump on it, daringly, willingly. As artists, we have the power to create shields from our broken hearts, turn our tongues into daggers, hands into home-cooked meals in minutes, turn passion and dedication into a masterpiece, and our minds, we are able to unlock the infinite universes within and find the needle in the haystack. As artists, we are configured of Big Bang theories, undiscovered planets, mythological love, and stardust. We are light beams. We are flames. No, we are shooting stars. We are comets falling from the sky to land on the middle of some farm in Kansas, I guess. Analyzed as if the world has never seen our kind. Stared at as if the world has never seen God. Yes, we are God. We are catapulted from our kingdom beyond the sky to give this world a fighting chance. We're not just artists. We are not just emotional beings. We are warriors. Giving everyone a canvas and a paintbrush and saying paint. Giving everyone a pen and paper and saying write. Giving everyone a deck of cards and saying, yo, create a magic trick with a word bank of 5 words that I give you. And don't forget to include fire. Yes, we are gods. We are bits and pieces of a whole that make up an army of misfits, of straight arrows, criers, screamers, and ramblers and gamblers who believe that the only way is through. But some of us hit our head on the way down, forgot where we came from. But maybe that's why we create spaces like this and find spaces like this to remember what the mission was.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for watching Three Sweet Productions with our guest today, the amazing Sav. Please check her out on all the social medias. And bye.